What's the dumbest way you've gotten a scar? I have a scar on my forearm from a weaponized paper airplane I taped razor blades to and launched with a rubber band. Science. I got hit on the bridge of my nose by a ceramic toilet seat when I was learning to pee like a big boy. Now I think about it, that's probably the best outcome there. Why was your nose close enough to get hit? I was just learning to wee in the grown-up toilet, and I thought I was clever. Went to my grandparents' old clanker of a toilet without a step or anything. Tippy toes to get any sort of beat on the target. The lid was one of those that you think is going to stay up, but actually needs holding, or it falls down. I didn't know this, it fell down. My brother, sister and I all have the same kind of scar in our left eyebrow and got them at the same age. My brother opened an empty dresser drawer and smacked himself in the face. My sister ran into a brick wall, and I fell off the couch onto a coffee table. I'm picturing this all happening in the same 5 minutes and your parents come home to everybody bleeding out. Blood everywhere. Kids quietly playing video games in the living room. Bleeding profusely from their heads. Boys from my class were throwing CDs like you throw frisbee. One of those hit me right between the eyes. Still got a small scar there. You should be thankful they didn't decapitate you. I'll make sure to send them basket of fruits or something. For my 8th birthday, a classmate got me something like a grow your own stalagmite kit you could buy at educational stores. Apparently, the purpose was to add water to some powder material and use a funnel in the kit to drip it down to make your own cave features. Exciting. I know. Anyway, I kept it and the other birthday presents I got in a cardboard box in my room. Evidently, at some point, moisture got into the box and the plastic the powder was in, and it began expanding. Having nowhere else to go, the stalagmite material oozed its way out through the narrow slits in its box and hardened into razor sharp edges. I found this out quite bloodily when I put my hand into my birthday box to grab another toy and pulled it out with permanently altered fingerprints on my thumb, index, and middle fingers. Ouches. I got cut by a vacua. A ducking vacua. Elaborate my friend. Spider on my arm. Violently jerked on as an attempt to get the spider off. Vacuum was there. Scar. I used a pressure washer on my foot. Jeez. I pressure washed my entire roof barefoot and hid my feet a few times. I wouldn't think it could scar. I don't have any decent scars, despite being the kind of guy that pressure washes his roof barefoot. I have two from when I was a kid, running around in the dark on a school roof, tripped over and ripped my hand to shreds, jumping and sliding on a door that had been kicked in, jumped straight onto a nail that went in my knee. I was a stupid kid. What do you mean by ripped my hand to shreds? Multiple deep cuts. I was trying to squeeze between two cars. One of the cars must have had a jagged bumper because it sliced a 2-inch gash in my leg. At first I was thinking you were driving a car yourself and wondering how the duck you scarred yourself while inside a car. He was a car. 7-year-old me was helping my mum iron clothes. I pulled on the cord. The iron fell and smacked me right in the face. I still have a scar above my right eye. I got Home Alone vibes from that. Playing manhunt. Some idiot made the campfire area base. I was running for my life to get there. Jumped this huge pile of firewood, tripped over something, and rolled right into the fire. It could been so much worse, but I only burned my elbow and some of my hair. It's been probably 15 years and the scar is only about 3 inches long and 1 wide. I was 7. Mum said don't use that knife to cut that orange. I used that knife to cut that orange. Things I learned. Orange juice and a wound stings, but not as much as the knowledge you can't go crying to your mum. Yeah. Can't go to your mom. You don't want to look like a no. J. Wimp son. So I broke my right arm when I was a kid, then decided to put a cast on me. My skin under my cast is so itchy. It's like my skin is alive. When 2 months have passed, I decided to scratch my skin under the cast using a pen, since my fingers couldn't reach further areas. While doing so, I accidentally put the pen further away inside that I can't remove it under my cast. Since I can't reach it, then I just ignored it after that, thinking that it will be just fine. And I didn't tell that to my parents since they would be mad. After 2 months, They decided to remove my cast since it's already due, but the night before removing my cast, my mom noticed that my arm smells rotten. So fast forward, they removed the cast in my arm in the hospital. Then they noticed that the pen was penetrating my skin for months and the hole is about the size of a penny full of pus. I didn't even feel a thing. After that, the hole eventually became a penny-sized scar in my skin. A similar thing once happened to me. I always have an earring in, but since they're small I never take them out or even touch them. A few years ago, I wore it a little too tight, and when I tried removing it, I realized I couldn't. So I asked my mom to help, and she said my skin started growing over my earring. It didn't leave a scar, but I've kept my earring loose ever since. Edit. Wow. It's nice to know so many people did this when they were little. And then here I'm doing it as a teenager XD. This happened to me too. I was around 8 years old and my gym teacher noticed that my lobes were scabbed over. She sent me to the nurse who then called my dad. We went home where he sat me at the kitchen table and attempted to remove the earrings. It was a screaming match of me telling him it hurt and him telling me to stop wiggling. It took about an hour to sort out both ears. Neither scarred, but we did have to let them heal closed, and I waited about a year before getting them pierced again. I tried cutting open lemon with a fork. How did you get the scar? He tried cutting open lemon with a fork. I have one on the back of my hand from rubbing the skin off with a pencil eraser longer than the other kid did when I was 13, just to prove I was tough. Jesus Christ. I have a scar on the back of my right hand for doing the exact same thing probably at about the same age. The school called it the rubber challenge. We called it rubbing one out. When I deliberately cut myself. Not seriously. I just wanted the word ninja on my hand. Don't ask me why. Wow. You carved ninja on your hand? Can you share a pic? I'm very curious. It was a long time ago. You can't see much anymore. Just one line of the first N. Sorry. I gave myself a scar across my eye because I was drunk, watching Revenge of the Sith, and thought it would look cool. I take it, you didn't have the high ground. Don't need it. So many people underestimate my power. Lazy me liked to iron clothes while wearing them when I was 20 years old. My left arm can testify. So you are the reason for that ridiculous warning label. Lol. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.